Hi everyone, I'm Ryan, welcome back. This week's going to be a bit different from what I normally do. Combination of reasons. Fundamentally, I feel bad, got man flu, so that's curtailing any plans that I particularly had. Also, I'm not normally in the habit of trying to plan videos or record stuff in advance. You're just watching me work on these things as I get time. And unusually, last week I did actually get a bit more done than I showed in the video. Just because I felt that as part of it was on the Super Dream and part of it was on the Scrambler, it probably should be separated. So what I'm actually going to do now is just show you a bit about what I did during the week. Just working on the head of this engine, so got that prepared and placed on top of the engine, so that's nearly ready, and I'll probably finish that off today. But also just I've made some decisions on this, and I want to change the way I'm going slightly. So this wheel I bought recently, I think it's from a CB250 RS, the spoked style. I like the idea of this on the Scrambler. I feel that would be more in keeping with the style that I'm looking for. So I bought that wheel, which means that this one needs to come out. And then if that's coming out, there's a few things I want to change. So this bar here is too long. I've got a shorter version of this that I'm going to swap that over to, which I understand moves the foot peg forward slightly, and it means that I can fit the gear lever directly to the engine without that linkage that you have on the Super Dream. So I'm going to change that, change the wheel, and I think that will move me closer towards the direction that I want to go. I've got some ideas on the front end of the bike as well. I'm not convinced that the Super Dream front end is what I want to keep on the bike. I think that the forks feel quite weak. I don't mean that as a disrespect towards Super Dreams, but what I've noticed is without the mudguard in place, there's a lot of flex, just stationary, quite frankly. Excuse me. And it seems it's the mudguard itself which adds quite a bit of strength to the forks. And I want a higher mudguard on a Scrambler. So if I'm going to have a higher mudguard, I think I need a better fork setup that's going to have the strength in it to sustain a bit more abuse off-road. Therefore, I'm thinking about taking the whole front yoke, forks, wheels, and replacing that in its entirety with something from a different bike. I don't know how feasible that is. I don't know how expensive it's going to be. But I was thinking if I could get a front end of like an old CR or something like that, something designed for off-road use, can I attach that to the frame and then make a proper front end hybrid? I don't know. That's my thoughts anyway. I'm going to crack on with what I can do. I'm going to show you what I did on the head, and please, your continued support is highly appreciated. And for those of you that have subscribed, I do genuinely appreciate it. If you haven't done, please consider just clicking that button, and let me get on with it. And now I'm going to stop filming and cough a lot. So before I consider what I'm going to do with this head, one question I need to know is, do the valves seal? So I'm going to try a leak down test on the valves. I'm going to just put some liquid on them, give them a bit of time, and see if any liquid seeps down past the valves. It shouldn't do. If it doesn't, I'm good to go. So let me try and work that out. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. No perceivable level drop at all on either side. So, yep, good. They seem okay. Let's start a clean-up process.
Just beginning the clean-up phase and checking everything out, carefully looking over it, and I have noticed that whilst I thought it had 4 good exhaust studs, if you look here, I have just noticed that these 2 are fine, that one's fine, that one is present but snapped off. It's too short. So I'm going to have to work on removing that stud, replacing it with another one. That's likely to fight me, but start soaking it up, get some penetrating oil on there. Hopefully it will cooperate, but yeah, who knows. That needs to come out. And from the donor head, I've got 1 stud left in that, which is good. Try and remove that as well. Right, I'll leave those alone to soak for a while. So I was just checking my stud bolt extractor, but that doesn't, it's not going to fit. There's not enough protruding for that to get a grip on. So that's the first idea, not going to happen. Probably going to have to try and get 2 bolts on it, lock them down and undo it from the lower bolt. Right, okay. Let me see if we can find... give that careful thought, because I don't want to snap this off any more than it already is. And it's likely to be stubborn. So probably tapping on it and some heat as well is going to help the situation. Yes. Okay. Let's try it. Yeah. I think it's coming. Yes. Yep. Okay. So I think I've managed to free up the stud I want. Let's get that out. Let it cool down a minute. It's a bit warm. Pretty sure that just moved. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you can hear it hissing, which I guess is probably penetrate oil releasing. There we go. There we go. And 3. Nearly there. There we go. She's out. Yep, sorted. 1 full set of exhaust studs reinstated. Good. And continue with the cleanup now. Just about an hour and a half clean up. That's cleaned up alright. Head. I've got the 4 studs, all with screws, or with bolts, sorry, all nice and smooth and ready. And it's beginning to come up okay. And the top, it's just had a quick wipe down. So I'm going to try and get some of this off. I'm not massively worried about it cosmetically at this point, because ultimately it's going to go black. But for the time being, I just want anything loose and dirty off of it. So I can continue just with, you know, wire brush, a bit of time, and just try and get into all the bits that I possibly can. And I don't know if anyone's seen something smaller to get into these little tiny pieces. I mean, I've got this, and I've got drill attachments, but they don't get anywhere near this. Don't know. I mean, I know the solution to do it properly is to vapor blast it. Don't have that as an option, or certainly not easily and close by. So, okay, I'm just going to carry on by hand for now. But that is definitely more than salvageable. I'm happy with that. So as I'm cleaning this up, continuing, I just thought of something. You've got these little tiny screws here, which I now know are for when you need to balance the carburetors. That's a long time off, but I need to make sure that they are free and will remove. And in response to recent comments, I think someone called Chris, I have bought myself some JIS screwdrivers. So let's try those, see if these come out without rounding off. Okay, so proper JIS screwdriver time. Let's try that one first. Oh, that's tight. Let's try this one. Okay, so neither of them want to just undo. Make sure I've got the right size screwdriver. A couple of different sizes. Check which one fits best. I think that's the best fit. Middle size. Alright, now let's try and work around the camera because you're in the way. Let's see. It does feel like a good positive fit. There we go. That's one cracked off. Okay. Who knows? Maybe that would have been more of a problem without the right screwdrivers. So I am listening to comments, trying to improve. Okay, that's good. They can stay in place. I just wanted to crack them off and make sure they weren't going to cause me a problem further down the build when it would have really annoyed me. Cool. Right, let's leave those alone. Yeah, it's getting late as the head just sat on top of the rest of the engine. So next I think I can move on to replacing the camshaft and putting all that back in, and then bolting that down. So I think that is good. So this is what I'm going to change that over to. This slightly different style, clearly a lot shorter, and I think it just holds the front foot peg a little further forward, but obviously it takes all this off, which is for pillions, which I'm not worried about, and no intentions of putting pillion pegs on the Scrambler bike. So let me swap that over, and whilst I've got all the swinging arm off, try and fit the other wheel, which is only going to be a rough fit. I haven't got all the spacers and everything. That leads me on to another potential issue, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, for now, I'm going to get this in place on there. Okay, so I've thrown the RS wheel into the frame, and what is immediately apparent is something I was recently warned about, is that this wheel, the width from that outer edge there through to that outer edge there, is completely different to the engine, to the wheel that I took out. So the spacing is going to have to be completely different. The offset of the wheel might need to be changed, which means it absolutely is not a straight bolt-in replacement wheel, which I had hoped it would be, but then after I bought this I had been warned it would not be. So okay, I think I'm going to put the bike back up on its wheels now anyway, and we'll see how it looks for the moment. Bet you can't see my head. Thanks very much. That's all I can achieve this weekend. I'm not feeling the best, but I'll be fine in a few days. Liking the way this is beginning to look. It's just mocked up, and I've definitely got spacing issues, which Tharon, thanks for the heads up on that. Clearly I need to work out how to resolve that at some point. And Lee for helping me out with the wheel. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. So that'll do for now. I'm going to get back on the engine as soon as I've got a bit more time, get that finished up,
get that bolted into the frame, and then I think it will begin to start looking like a bike. So with that, please help, support, subscribe. I'll see you all soon. Take care. See you, bye.